All right, you guys. Proof is back here with Nicole Balderson, and well, just a heads up, my car allegedly is running for right now. We had to change some electrical wires out, and I had a mechanic at the house while my show was going on, Nicole.
Wow, it took a while too. I remember when he got there.
Yeah. Well, he had to go buy some new wires. I guess one of the wires was, I guess, a ground-touching metal doesn't exactly work, so
no,
we had to fix
battery
that.
and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Well, did you want to go into another direction with the one-parent systems in the house, or did you want to go into another topic?
Yeah, we can do that. The one-parent systems, well, they even pretty much go to zero-parent systems nowadays. But yeah, that's good with me because I think that's a major problem that's been hitting. You know, because when I was a kid, I mean, I was raised in a house of girls. You know, but I was a tomboy, and so I never. To me, the thing was living up, I guess, to all the guys that I was around, you know, to being as good as them and to doing everything that they did, you know, to prove that I was something, you know, and that's the way I saw society, you know, and it wasn't until, like, I had my son, who's 4 now, and that I realized that that's what keeps being pushed, seriously. Society keeps saying that women need to be in the job force, that we need to be as productive as men, get paid, you know, all the same. People are fighting for these women's rights, seriously. But when that happened, the family disappeared, and it started to. And it doesn't mean that the woman has to be the one that's taking care of things, because not all women are as nurturing as all men, you know. It's not, I'm not saying that it has to be the woman that stays home and it has to be the woman that does this, but I think we need to spend time with our children, and it's one thing that doesn't happen. I mean, 6 weeks after they have a kid, most women are back at work, and some even less than that. How can you have any influence over a child in 6 weeks? You know, it's like they get used to everybody else's influence besides yours, and most people spend more time with them than you do, because when you get home, most of that time is spent sleeping. And kids have no... They're indoctrinated now. You go to the school and you're taught what the government wants to be taught, you know, and then you go home and you listen to American Idol, and you put the kids in front of commercials that tell them what they need, what they want, what's the best, this is right, this is wrong, you know, and it takes away from a child growing up and deciding things for themselves, for seeing the world, I guess, from a new point of view, instead from your point of view, you know, from your parents' influence, from past generations' influence. Instead now, which is the way it used to be, now it's corporations and the school and the government now have so much control over what is said and done, to where now you can't even, like, punish your child without your child picking up the phone and calling CPS and turning you in, you know what I mean? It's like, if you say something wrong or your child gets mad, then they can pull this card and say, ha, I can leave, you know, and not realizing what happens when you get into the system, which totally destroys, like, most people. And it's meant to do that so that we are fractioned, we're separated. The community is no longer building up the child, which is what they're trying to push. Let our community fix your kid, right? Instead, it's like, as long as it's by our standards. The way it used to be is that we would go out, we would all barbecue as neighbors. We all knew each other. Everybody knew their name. You would say hi. Now if that happens, okay, baby. Now if that happens, you know, people are freaking out, thinking that the people that are too nice are insane, you know, that they've got to be something wrong. You know, they're probably a pedophile because they're wanting to talk to their neighbor. And people just need to get out, get away from the TV, get away from the radio waves. Seriously, like, the TV itself, when you think about it, how is reception gotten? It comes from microwaves and everything else that process through the air, and everything is a wave, you know. It's all about the wave. I mean, even us, it's all about sound and frequency, and that pulls into HARP when you think about it, because you can program the subliminal messages are done this way. You do certain frequencies and certain processes and certain sequences, and then you can influence people's thoughts, and you can, you know, it's what happens with TV. If you just turn it off and walk away, seriously, it's like you get over a drug addiction. It's your head can clear. It may hurt. You may sleep. Seriously, I'm not.
Yeah, I understand.
And it'll happen, and it may take like a week or two, as if you were literally coming off of a drug you've been addicted to your whole life, because that's exactly what it is. Your brain becomes used to the sound waves and the radio waves that come in from TV, and it influences you. And when you get away from it, and when you can truly wake up, that process hurts. It hurts. It can cause headaches, and you'll be sick. You'll literally be sick when you stop. But once that's over, nothing looks the same. My son doesn't know what commercials are. If we go to somebody else's house and he watches, like, you know, if they have cartoons or something on, a commercial comes on and he gets confused because he doesn't understand, because he doesn't have that here. We have never had TV since before the digital transition. So he doesn't understand that. And it's so weird when you see how many people are so influenced. It's like, I got to have this pink thing. I got to have... It's scary, the control they have over family nowadays.
Right, and, well, there is rumor as to why the TV is all digital now as opposed to analog.
What is that?
But allegedly the analog needs to be open for RFIDs, which will be required within 36 months of the health care bill.
Did you see the bill about Walmart now putting RFID chips in some of their clothes, including their...
Oh, yeah, we covered that.
That's insane. They've put them in trash cans and everything else so that they can just...
Right, and you have to know specifically how to take out the... They tell you that the chip can be easily taken out, but they're not going to tell you how to do it.
And it is transmitting, and see, that's the thing. So they won't even tell you where they are because, you know, it's theft-proof devices, supposedly. That's why they're using it, but it's transmitting. So that means anytime you leave, that it's still transmitting whether you're by a reader or not. But that's the other thing you take into consideration, that if they have this technology inside all Walmart stores, that means they have RFID readers. And this is what people have to consider, is the radiation that's used in these readers. And that means that, I don't know about you know, Nevada, but here in Texas, we have those smart driver's license to where, like, even your thumbprint is registered on this back little black strip. Well, that's the same kind of technology. That means that if you go into a Walmart, if you walk into a Walmart, that means those readers can pick up even your driver's license and all your information that's stored on that, including your fingerprints. And to think that they'd have stores like this and everywhere else that can just read this kind of information, and then if you're wearing clothes, you're being read that says that you have those certain clothes or that you buy this and you use your program card, and, you know, everything is tracked. And it's all done, you know, you use your debit card, which has an RFID chip in it too, and, you know, you get by with your passport, which has one as well, at least, you know, recently since... I forget, in the early 2000s when they started using that. They have ways to track, like, everything, and it's... The other thing about families is the family system is when you think about women's roles and men's roles is the, I guess, the hallmark and media version of love and Valentine's Day, and then you get into storytelling, like the old fairy tales that say that a woman has to have a man in shining armor that has to come, and that women have to be perfectly primed and dressed in beautiful dresses and everything else for life to be perfect. And then you're taught this as a kid and then thrown in front of TV, and then you get the soap operas that show that everybody cheats on everybody else, and it just completely does everything it can to separate us from each other, to show that we've all got to be bad, and we're all told all these lies and lies and lies and lies our whole life. How does that influence a person? You know how? Is that person automatically lies the rest of their life, and they don't know why, because that's what they've been taught, and that's what society teaches, is that everything's untrue, and that's how you get by in this world.
And you're inadequate no matter what you do.